mixing with flair. Every sip's a moment we're happy to share. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worries slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for the day. The clock don't matter, we're lost in the vibe. Jazz in the air, feel the soul come alive. From martinis to bourbon, we're riding the wave. Stealing this hour, it's the freedom we crave. Sun's still shining, but we're in our zone. This bar's our shelter, our temporary home. One more round before the world calls us back. Savor the moment, keep the blues in the rack. We'll laugh and we'll toast till the afternoon fades. Memories made in these liquid escapades. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worries slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for the day. So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun. Our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon. Chasing that jazz under the high noon.
Salute. Happy Friday. Welcome to the weekend. Yes, at Liquid Lunch on Fridays, we consider it the start of the weekend because the second half of Friday is just counting the hours till you get out of the office and you get to share last call with us tonight at 9. I know there's a whole lot of other things going on between now and then, but welcome to the Tom and Jerry Show. Well, at least our version of the Tom and Jerry Show. And we'll get to exactly what that means and why it's called Tom and Jerry in just a bit. But first, I want to say hi to all of you in the chat, starting with Big Al of Big Al Presents Tom and Jerry. I love that cartoon. I know, it's a drink. Happy Friday, Liquid Lunchers. Hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Have a great show. Troy, thank you very much. Big Al of Big Al Presents. Remind us in the chat, Big Al, you've got a no. You do not have a stream today because tomorrow is Films with Friends. That's right. I'm trying to keep track of the weeks. Mech po, here I are, covering a classic cartoon series I love. Majka. Like, share, subscribe, and become a member. Do those click things now. Da! Well, I'm not actually covering a cartoon series. I will mention that cartoon series and explain why it has the same name as a historically famous Midwestern drink. Ironic name. I discovered Warner Brothers has Tom and Jerry and Looney Tunes compilations on YouTube. I'm watching some in anticipation of all the Tom and Jerry, Looney Tunes, and Hanna-Barbera disappearing behind a paywall. This is getting worse and worse, folks. This is why physical media is so crucial. They literally are taking away all the shows you loved and grew up with. You need to own them physically in your home so they cannot take them away from you and alter them on you. Jonathan Conroy says, hail all, smash the like button and enjoy the show. Yes, please do those things. The tired midnight blogger himself, Curtis Selby says, lunchtime. Yes, indeed it is. Yes, indeed it is. And the love of my life comes in to drop me some hearts. And she says, like, share, subscribe, become a member, leave a comment, gift a membership if you, frankly, if you want to keep this channel alive. That really is the truth. Last call with Troy Pacelli. Sign at work. I put up rule number 1. Mark is always right. There you go. There you go. You're learning, and they need to learn as well. For as little as $2 a month, you can become a member. Keep this channel going, and if nothing else, one of the big perks is the weekly member stream, where you choose a movie that we're going to watch together, and then we watch it in a private stream. Gifted memberships are also welcome. Help me reach 100 members and 2,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Together we grow. We can do this. My wife has the faith of a child. My faith is slipping. I checked my membership today, and it has slipped even farther. So that 100 members by the end of the year is an even larger gulf to cover as of today. There are no weekends for those in the dilithium mines. Well, I understand. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and become a member. And if you were going to give a super chat of $5 or more, why not make that a gifted membership to help our family grow? Please, because our family does seem to be shrinking. Very sorry to hear that. Connie Cleary, the bird woman of YouTube, says, sorry I'm late. Had to finish on what I'm playing for my watch party. I understand. We are all very busy, but we all have to take a break for lunch.
We got gator bits.
So this is, you could almost think of this as an unboxing, but a certain Santa from Florida has sent us our Christmas gift for the year, which includes gator bites and what is this called?
Chocolate shells.
Yeah, chocolate shells in different chocolate flavors. Very excited about that.
And I'm hoping that they have gotten our package, which they should have gotten either yesterday or today. Hi, everybody.
The timing could be very, very good on that. That's Netter, by the way, in case you hadn't guessed.
Now.
Yes.
Love y'all.
Yes, let us get back to what exactly is a Tom and Jerry. One other person that I want to shout out, I did not see in the chat, but I'm sure we will at some point. Corey of Wilkie's Movies and Music, who did do a $10 super chat asking about the Tom and Jerry that I mentioned in yesterday's stream. And I thought, for $10, that's buying me a drink, and that is what I'm going to talk about today. So there he is. Boy, mention the devil, you see his horn. Or I guess this time of year, mention the Krampus and see his horns. There he is. Of course, as I was just saying, as you were popping in here, a $10 super chat asking about the Tom and Jerry. Say his name and he appears, says Big Al. Exactly right. $10 super chat is, I consider that buying me a drink, and therefore that is the drink. You have decided what drink I will be drinking today and talking about in today's stream. So I am glad that you're here. And then everybody stay with us to the end of the stream, because I will show for everybody over to Corey's channel immediately after for his stream. So let's get to it. Get to the shared screen. We're going to share the entire screen without sound, because you don't need the sound. This little history lesson comes to us from Imbibe. Now, this is perhaps for many, it's a lost tradition, but it used to be that many Many pubs and indeed many houses used to have a Tom and Jerry bowl special for the holiday season with special Tom and Jerry glasses. You can possibly still find them today in, I don't know about pawn shops, but antique shops and resale shops and so forth. They used to be very, very common. You would make a bowl of Tom and Jerry, and then you'd bring this out for a party, or at a pub. You just had it every night. Someone would order, you just ladle it out. It does require some work, and if you think eggnog, you're probably right in the same family. But let's get into the history behind this. Mixopedia, solving the mystery of the Tom and Jerry cocktail. So, antique malls are underappreciated destinations for quiet contemplation. Here, one can stroll along while reflecting upon questions of philosophy, such as who buys empty Gallo wine bottles? Lately, another useful koan has been, what's up with the Tom and Jerry bowls? These crop up with some frequency, a serving bowl along with a half a dozen or more matching mugs. A recent eBay search for Tom and Jerry bowl and excluding cartoon yielded 154 hits. One wonders, how have they survived? Who exactly were Tom and Jerry, and what made them so popular? So again, I want to get that centered. So again, we charge into the breach of history. In 1863, a San Francisco newspaperman visited the Occidental, one of the city's grand hotels. Just beyond the billiard hall was a bar, the gayest and most gallant array of decanters on the shelves ever seen, which was presided over by none other than the author of the first cocktail guide published the year before. Behind the counter stands one Jerry Thomas. I've mentioned him before on the show, from whom it is fair to suppose that the pleasant piping beverage called Tom and Jerry took its name. The reporter may have supposed that because Thomas probably boasted about it, claiming to have invented it back in 1847. As David Wodrich wrote in Imbibe, Thomas frequently laid claim to the drink, once explaining that it was named after his two pet mice, Tom and Jerry. Why? Jeremiah B. Thomas would have sounded rather heavy, and that wouldn't have done for a beverage. It's a fine story, but chronologically falls on Jerry Thomas like an upright piano in a Tom and Jerry cartoon. Wodrich cites an 1827 account of a rum, sugar, and egg drink under the name of Tom and Jerry served in Boston inconveniently for Jerry Thomas. He was born 3 years later. A more likely origin story involves a book published in 1821 called Life in London, or The Day and Night Scene of Jerry Hawthorne, Esquire, and his elegant friend Corinthian Tom. Their Georgian debauchery spawned a hit play entitled Life in London, or The Day and Night Scene of Tom and Jerry, in their rambles and sprees through the metropolis. Holy crap, that's a long title. My goodness. Which came to America in 1823. According to unverified and probably specious accounts, the author pimped out an eggnog, dubbed it a Tom and Jerry, and served it up as a marketing gimmick. It never went away. Eggnog and Tom and Jerry are close cousins that differ chiefly by their preparation. Eggnog is typically made with whole eggs. Tom and Jerry is more refined, made with egg separated and the whites whipped, giving it an airier texture. Tom and Jerry is served hot. Eggnog is not. Antiquated drinks such as these largely fell out of fashion in the 20th century, first hobbled by a lean modern aesthetic and then given the shiv by prohibition. Surprisingly, Tom and Jerry came back, and in a big way, after repeal. The hot Tom and Jerry is an old-time drink that is once again used by one and all in the country to celebrate Christmas, wrote Damon Royan in 1932. Added that it was so popular that many people think Christmas was invented only to furnish an excuse for hot Tom and Jerry. Through the late 1930s, Tom and Jerry was a harbinger of the holidays, and bars lured in customers with the promise of a warm, creamy, delicious drink. Home entertaining was also ascendant, and Tom and Jerry became adept party crashers. Society pages in the 1940s frequently mentioned Tom and Jerry parties being held at the best homes. The ladies' pages in the paper offered tips on what foods to accompany the drink. Very plain cookies are acceptable, wrote the San Francisco columnist in 1950, and was ham paste. Don't ask me what ham paste is. Maybe someone else can look it up. Rituals, whether ancient or invented, emerged. Let the guest stir their own drink it's part of the custom of drinking Tom and Jerry's, a Wisconsin newspaper suggested in 1955. Tom and Jerry is made with a batter that involves some degree of manual labor, so commercial batter soon cropped up. Wisconsin was a lodestar, home to several brands, including Strand's, Mrs. Brown's, and Connolly's. In Billings, Montana, you went to the Silver Dollar Inn for your batter to go out. Dave's Pie Shop in Eugene, Oregon, touted its Tom and Jerry batter with the slogan, "Come and get it, or I'll drink it myself." Now, keep in mind, this is a batter, and we'll get into what exactly the recipe for that is in just a bit. But that would have been a non-alcoholic, egg-based batter that you would go home and add your own booze to. Advertisements for Tom and Jerry bowl sets crowded the pre-holiday news pages. If you didn't want to buy one, Dave's in Oregon offered sets for rent. Entrepreneurial. They came in a variety of styles, some looking Victorian, but many more modern colonial motifs like carriages and silhouetted figures in top hats and hoop skirts. The lettering was often in a heavy Teutonic script, presumably a nod to the old world North and Kris Kringle. In the last couple of years, I've noticed some of the bowls moving from antique malls to cocktail bars, and the Tom and Jerry again takes its role as a forerunner in the holiday season. If you see one, ask for a ladleful along with piping hot water to ward off the chill. A cocktail revived from the dead often tastes excellent, but a revival, they're twice as good. Okay, so there you go. That's the history on it. Let me see. I see you guys have been chatting, and I haven't been ignoring you. I just wanted to focus on the history, and then we will get back to that in just a moment. Enigma Severus joins us and says, "Lunchtime, I have come. Great to be here, watching this studly man who has netter as the love of his life. Yes. Thank you very much. I am a very, very blessed man. In the 22nd century, hot nog is a Ferengi sex tape. Yes, I am absolutely sure. Actually, it's probably the 24th century. And of course, Nog is, I'm presuming he would be the Grand Nagus by then. Ham paste is a spreadable product made from a finely processed cooked ham, typically blended with various seasonings and binders like mayonnaise or butter. Or I would say like a ham-based potted meat from the sound of it. Yep, you guys are coming through for me. Thank you so much. Ham spread is what we call deviled ham or potted meat. Yes, see, I was thinking in the right. Yeah, yep. And Lynn's backing me up. It's 20. Remember, 23rd century was Kirk and the boys. 24th century is Next Gen and those folks. So we're doing good on time here. I'm going to go ahead and let you loose with those promos. Give me about 2.5 minutes. I'm going to enjoy my Tom and Jerry a bit, and then on the other side of it, we will get to how to make it. So give me just 2.5 minutes.
You are watching Liquid Lunch, streaming every weekday at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Let's sip together.
This week on Big Al Presents Films with Friends. The Muppets put their spin on the tale of an elder Christmas-hating miser who is visited by spirits who foretell his future and share secrets from his past and present, which helps change his view on life. Michael Caine and Jim Henson's Muppets star in the Christmas classic The Muppet Christmas Carol on Big Al Presents Films with Friends, this Saturday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
Every Sunday evening, Aged Boomer and Last Call with Troy Pacelli bring you the rundown of the week's geek news, or at least what they think is interesting. You may have heard about it elsewhere, but Boomer and Pacelli spin it like only two old geezers can. It's Geeky Geezers, every Sunday evening at 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
When the Countess of Morcar's priceless blue carbuncle is stolen, a reformed thief is charged with the crime. Newspaper reports have reported the theft of the unique blue stone from a local hotel, but on Christmas Eve it is discovered, having found its way down the gullet of a goose, and Sherlock Holmes can't resist solving the mystery of how it got to its final destination. It's the Blue Carbuncle. This week on Last Call Presents The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Tuesday at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern.
We now return to our liquid lunch.
This is a bit of lore I was unaware of. Lieutenant Nog, along with Miles O'Brien, designed and built the Frontier-class Starbase Deep Space 9-2. I was unaware of that. Is that from the EU, or is that some sort of alpha canon? I'd be curious to hear about that. So let's get back to how to make a Tom and Jerry. This comes to us from David Wondrich over at liquor.com. Again, not a sponsored stream, just the source that I am referring to. And look at that. Look at that. Keep in mind, this is not eggnog per se. This is a warm drink. Oh, but it looks so good. Why a warm drink? It is 16 degrees here in Chicago. It might get up to 20 by the time Last Call starts, but we will also be getting snow by then. So I am looking to stay warm. Netter, however, will be having some cool eggnog in the traditional sense. Deep Space Nine, The Fall. Novel Revelation and Dust. Gotcha. I was reminded, as it is the center spread of my calendar for next year, began construction in Raise the Dawn novels. Gotcha. Gotcha. I'll tell you, some of those novels are really good. And I think that Paramount is missing the boat by not just adapting them. They really should. They should. I'm not saying they have to canonize all the EU, but they should look at which ones are good and canonize them selectively. So it's not easy to figure out how many calories are in a little mug of Tom and Jerry. Sure, the alcohol is a known quantity, which with the couple ounces of cognac and dark rum clocking in at 120 calories total. Add the splash of hot whole milk, the only kind you want to even consider for Tom and Jerry, is another 20. I don't think cloves, nutmeg, and allspice have calories, so you don't have to worry about them. They do have calories, but it is an insignificant quantity. Which leaves the batter. Then you take a dozen eggs, beat the whites to stiff peaks, and the yolk with rum and a couple of pounds of sugar, and then fold them together. That comes to a little more than 4,000 calories. But fortunately, that bowl of batter will make 3 or 4 dozen Tom and Jerry's, which means each drink contains a mere 250 calories or so. To put that in perspective, it's equal to a pint of real beer, and people manage to choke those down okay. The reason I've spent so much time dwelling on the nutritional information is that the Tom and Jerry's perceived caloric throw weight is the basis for the only possible objection anyone could have to a holiday drink. This ancient beverage, it goes back to England in the 1820s, is otherwise so delicious, so warming, and so conducive to holiday cheer that if not for the fear its ingredients list engenders, the Tom and Jerry bowl would be broken out every Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year by all Americans rather than just the fearless souls in the upper Midwest, which happens to include myself in the upper Midwest. I don't know if that would bring out fractious country, bring our fractious country together, but I do know that you can have 3 Tom and Jerry's and still ingest fewer calories than are in a large McFlurry with M&Ms. I happen to like those as well, but not in the wintertime. So here's what we're going to do. Boiling water. That's not part of the drink. That is just to rinse the glass. 1 ounce of dark rum, 1 ounce of cognac, 1 tablespoon, only a tablespoon, of Tom and Jerry batter, recipe below, whole milk, hot to top, garnish with nutmeg, freshly grated, garnish with ground cloves, and garnish with ground allspice. So, rinse a small coffee mug. I guess it depends what part of the country you come from, whether it's a mug or a cup, or white ceramic Tom and Jerry cup with boiling water to warm it, then discard the water. Add the rum, cognac, and batter into the cup and top with hot milk. Garnish with a mixture of 2 parts freshly grated nutmeg to 1 part each ground clove and ground allspice. That seems pretty simple. It's the batter that takes a little bit more preparation. How to make a Tom and Jerry batter. Now, this is more for just one drink. Separate 3 egg yolks and whites and set aside. In a non-reactive bowl, whip the egg whites with a 1/4 teaspoon cream of tartar until stiff peaks form. In a separate bowl, beat the yolks with 1 cup of sugar, 1/2 ounce of Jamaican dark rum, and a 1/4 teaspoon vanilla extract. When the yolk mixture is completely combined, gently fold into the egg white mixture and keep refrigerated. keep refrigerated because that way it will keep. But then, of course, you're not too concerned about it staying cold as you make the warm drink preparations. You're putting in hot milk, so it's going to be a warm drink. And that's really all there is to it. Of course, they feel the necessity to mention the raw egg warning, but I ask you, do you know of anyone who has ever had, at least living here in the United States, ever had any issues with raw eggs that wasn't allergic to them? There are people that have allergies to eggs, to raw eggs, I should say. But other than that, have you ever known anyone to have any sort of bacterial infection from raw eggs? I would gather to say probably not. Whether you realize it or not, in the United States, the eggs are pasteurized. So you are going to be nauseated from the smell of bad eggs before you would ever ingest an egg that might otherwise make you sick. Let me see what you are saying here. I'm going to go in a random order here. Nate says, Troy, do you mind if I put a link to a poll from my channel in the chat? I'm trying to figure out the next evolution of my YouTube shorts. Go right ahead. And everybody check out this poll, give him a bit of feedback. Follow him on X as well, where I know he has also posted that poll. I haven't had a chance to vote in it myself, but I've been following what he's doing over there on his channel, and it's very, very interesting stuff. Let's see. It's warm here today. It's in the 50s. Yeah, it hit 50 yesterday for us, and then it dropped off precipitously overnight. Welcome, Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips. Good to see you, my friend. You are a wonderful supporter of the channel. Glad to see you there. I will check that out in a little bit, Big Al. And I do mean a little bit because we'll be wrapping early, so I can get you over to Wilkie's Movies and Music. The post-Nemesis novels, mostly solid and coordinated, except the Voyager ones. Guess which author wrote the works on Discovery? Yeah, exactly. My problem, too, is I have some real issues with all of the canon after Nemesis. And the reason being is that people tend to try to treat the framing narrative from the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie as canon. The whole destruction of the Hobus Nebula or Hobus Star or whatever it is that supposedly destroyed Romulus. They've even worked that into Star Trek Online. So Star Trek Online could technically be thought of as post-Nemesis, but including the destruction of Hobus canon. And my personal feeling on the matter is that if they're going to because I really do believe when the contract ends with J.J. Abrams and with what's his name, Secret Hideout guy, when those contracts end, their canon ends too. They can't reference them again. So that means anything post Nemesis has to start fresh. The Romulan star destruction, the mention of Hobus, and any of that goes with J.J. Abrams, unless they're planning on licensing that stuff from him, which seems unnecessary. I can tell you to go ahead and post the link and still tell you to go kick rocks, you dingbat. Novels were ended the beginning of that year, never got there. No explanation of how the supernova happens without notice or propagated in Star Trek Online kind of covers their own version of that. I think it's entirely unnecessary. They only bother with that because they wanted to have a Romulan faction set in that timeline, and they're like, we got to do something with the Romulans. So closest we got was the magic supercomputer knew that Romulus and Klingons were going to have major trouble soon. Yeah. What was I going to say? There was a series of books. I can't remember the title. And of course, Star Trek is doing the same thing that Star Wars has done, right? Where they throw out all the canon of the books. Well, let's be honest with you. The canonicity of the books for Star Wars was a little bit better for Star Wars because they never took a stand on it. Whereas the guys over at CBS and Paramount have always said books are non-canon. They've always held that. But they're now doing the same thing in that they are going back to the books and farming little bits of story ideas. And by that, what I mean is that there was a series of books that dealt with artificial intelligence, and this was pre J.J. Abrams, dealing with artificial intelligence, specifically Soong type androids, all of that kind of stuff, and did it way better than Star Trek Picard ever did. But Star Trek Picard did draw a few plot points from it. Not enough to be good, but at least not as good as the original books. But it's kind of like the way Star Wars uses, let's use the E-Wing fighter, and let's use the Eclipse, and let's use Grand Admiral Thrawn, even though it's not really Grand Admiral Thrawn, and all this stupidity. It might be because you have to be a blue wrench. I'll tell you what. Let's look at this on Monday. By Monday, I'll have voted in it, and I can go ahead and paste it myself. Seriously, computer intercepted a few seconds of a message between Degra and the Xindi Council, despite it being inside the Delphic expanse. Decrypted, translated without Hoshi's universal translator. Yeah. Well, it's just like Independence Day, right? An Apple computer somehow is able to interface with alien technology. I guess a PC wouldn't have been able to do that. And somehow knew the exact time and target on Earth years later where the attack would occur. Yeah. I get you. So there was this incredible story about Data. They were trying to remember. Yeah, it was dealing with the whole story of B4 and restoring Data. And I think Lore was involved. Soong's son, all of that stuff, just like in Picard, but way better thought out in the books. They also touch on other Android technologies, stuff that was mentioned in the original series, like Roger Corby and stuff like that. Really, really good stuff. And this whole idea of an AI race forming, which again they go for with Picard, but they make it as though they're all Soong type androids, forgetting all of the other AIs in the galaxy that we have encountered that might want to form a membership in a federation like that. Then formed Section 31, recruited Reed, who served along. Yeah. As soon as you start getting into Section 31, and yes, I know that Enterprise did that there were some things Enterprise did I wasn't fired up about, and it was especially the Section 31 stuff that bothered me. Yes, that you. So you have read it. Soong faked his death, had improved body, and sacrificed himself to restore Data. Then Data used the method of his resurrection to resurrect Lal. Right. Exactly. It was a great story. So yeah, there you go. And this is why I love role-playing games. You can tell these stories yourself. You can play them out with your friends, and you can make better stories than are actually being made by Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, whatever. And all of these franchises have role-playing games. You know what I just found out recently? There is a role-playing game now for Space 1999. I didn't know people were clamoring for that, but I guess it's a thing. Section 31 was the crewman from the future quarters of the Enterprise, on the Enterprise. You could believe that the temporal agents were an outgrowth from Section 31. I think that was implied. I don't know. Really annoys me the people who think Section 31 is the Federation's intelligence service, not Federation security or Starfleet intelligence. Yeah, those are separate things. I mean, we could get into a whole political thing about the FBI, CIA, and all that kind of thing, but there are international laws regarding these kind of things and domestic laws. And Section 31 exists to circumvent the laws. It's the dark police, right? The dark agents. They're the ones that go and do assassinations of anyone that they want to, if they think it will help the Federation in the long run. And they are not answerable to anyone. They don't have any laws that bind them. The deep state, if you will. Section 31 is the Federation deep state. Doesn't help that on screen, SI, Starfleet Intelligence, has no agents and recruits Navy officers for all operations. Yeah, that's true. Although their Starfleet officers would have to operate under Federation law, so that would make your Starfleet Intelligence bound by Federation law, which is exactly what you want. Section 31 is the Federation Stasi. Well, that's another way of putting it, yes. FS was also on screen. Federation security, arresting McCoy for talking about Genesis, right. Section 31 is a shadow organization that's not an official organization. They are made up of members who take it upon themselves to do the things they believe need to be done to preserve the Federation. Preserve the Federation at all costs, right? Which is pretty much against the Federation Charter, right? I mean, you have a prime directive that says a ship captain will not interfere in the natural course of evolution of another planet, even at the risk or sacrifice of his own life and his ship. So if that's true, then you got to be prepared to do that for the entire Federation. Let the Federation fall to preserve whatever greater good or whatever. Kirk and Spock in Enterprise incident. O'Brien in the Dominion War, infiltration of Orion Syndicate. Yeah, and let's face it. All military. You could draw similarities to the Cold War, to World War II. There were rules of engagement. Whether you were in uniform or out of uniform, whether or not you could be captured and tried or summarily executed by the enemy. These things all matter. There are rules of engagement that need to be followed. The Federation sucks. Long live the Klingon Empire. Picha! Absolutely. I loved the books. Klingons had Imperial Intelligence, Imperial Security, High Council, the Klingon Diplomatic Corps, as seen in Friday's Child or Private Little War. Absolutely, absolutely true. Kept alive to some degree by the fans, particularly those that are members of the only viable fan club that exists anymore for Klingon fans, and that's the Klingon Assault Group, otherwise known as KAG, KAG.org. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up because I want to get us all over to Wilkie's Movies and Music for our traditional Friday evening celebration of the weekend. Then you guys go get yourselves some dinner and chill. And then at 9 o'clock, be right back here for a last call where Boomer and I will be talking about Christmas. Let's just call it Christmas legends. He and I are debating whether or not to talk about it in terms of legends or urban legends. I don't necessarily see the distinction. He feels that by just calling it Christmas legends broadens it. We'll talk more about that tonight, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of Tom and Jerry and a lot of eggnog, and maybe Boomer's going to have to end the stream for me tonight. So, guys, I want to thank you so much. Say hi to Corey over at Wilkie's Music and Movies for me. Take care of yourselves. Drink responsibly. Stay hydrated. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.
Goodbye. Hope to see you again real soon.
So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun, our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon, chasing that jazz under the high noon.